How's it going, everyone? I'm Walter the Film Hermit, and today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest announcements in maybe the history of physical media. James Cameron movies are finally being released, and we're going to talk about why this is such a big deal and go over everything. As I always say, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel so much. So we are getting True Lies, The Abyss, Aliens, and Titanic. And we're getting re-releases of both Avatar films all on 4K. This is a big relief because, as I probably mentioned in this channel before, True Lies never even got a Blu-ray release. The Abyss never even got a Blu-ray release. And it's like they've been, a lot of them didn't even have digital releases. Like, you could not watch these movies. They were so hard to find. I think I put it in one of my other videos that there was like a whole Twitter thing where like Ryan Reynolds and the director Christopher McQuarrie of the Mission Impossible films was like kind of teasing James Cameron online, like, when are you going to get this done? And James Cameron's excuse was always, I'm busy with the Avatar sequels. He's making like 15 of them. He doesn't have time because he wanted to supervise the transfers himself. We got some feedback earlier this year. One of the, James Cameron's producers saying that these films were going to be coming at the end of the year. They did not mention Aliens would be one of them. And I'm like, well, I guess we can't get everything. But then they announced that Aliens is coming too. So it was like fantastic. So by the time that this video gets released, to let you know, these movies are available on digital as of now. They came out December 12th. I'm going to talk a little bit about the digital releases. Of course, you know I'm all about physical releases. With these releases, I'm kind of tempted to double dip and get a digital right now, but what is the point? I don't want to spend more money for it. I don't want to double dip. So a big issue that I noticed with the Aliens release is that some people when they were talking about this release, they were saying that if you have these copies on digital, that a lot of times iTunes will go ahead and they'll upgrade your copy to 4K. The biggest problem is because a lot of James Cameron movies have multiple versions of them. I noticed the version that I have, and probably the version a lot of people have already, has not been upgraded. They actually made a new release that has the 4K edition, and that's the one that you have to spend money for. I think I'm just gonna wait for the physical release because the physical release has digital codes, and then I'll just have everything. But kind of tipped it for Aliens because I want to check it out and see, you know, what the improvement is. But the Aliens Blu-ray is actually pretty good, so I think I can wait till March. So let's go into this release. So I'm going to talk about the Avatar ones first. So Avatar got released on 4K earlier this year because the second film came out at the end of last year. These are collector's editions. So with the collector's editions, they have tons and tons of bonus features that were not included with the release earlier in the year. This is really similar to what Disney did a few years back when they released The Force Awakens on Blu-ray. They came out with immediate Blu-ray after the theatrical release, and then at the end of the year they had a 3D release, but the 3D release basically had all the bonus features that they didn't have time to put on that first release. So it seems like that's what James Cameron is doing right now. I love how James Cameron has the authority at Disney to kind of just force them to make these physical releases, because Disney hadn't made a release for a 3D for years, but then they did a 3D release for the second Avatar, and they're actually remastering a 3D release for the original film. I don't know what advantages that's going to give us. I'm going to hold off and wait for a review and see if it's worth upgrading, because it's like $35, and I don't really see the point of upgrading Avatar from 3D to 3D for $35 unless there's a really, really good reason. So I'm gonna wait for a review on that. So just to let you know, the releases for the Avatar Remastered 3D and the collector's editions for Avatar 1 and Avatar 2, The Way of Water, those are scheduled to come out December 19th. I'm not sure when my editor will have time to put this video up, so I'm not sure if it will be before the 19th or after the 19th, but we get those before Christmas if you want to pick those up. So the biggest advantage with the Avatar collector's edition for the first film is it has all three versions of the movie in 4K. So that's amazing. I think with the first release, you only got the theatrical edition on there, which I did pick up. I haven't watched yet because honestly, whenever I watched Avatar, I tend to want to watch the 3D edition because I love that immersion and being wrapped into that world. I picked up a 4K release of The Way of Water, but I haven't watched that yet because I watched the 3D release and really, really enjoyed it. I actually want to watch it again because I really, really enjoy that 3D trance. One of the best 3D movies I've watched at home in years. by far. Can't wait to see the new ones. I saw The Way of Water in theaters in 3D. I think I might have mentioned it to you guys. I was in a really bad mood about some personal stuff was going on. I really wasn't that into the movie. But when I watched it at home the second time in 3D, I really enjoyed it. So I'm ready to watch that one again. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up these collector's editions, at least not right away, because they're kind of expensive. They're about $42 a piece for movies I already have. And the other thing about these releases is that you don't get a 3D edition. And they're supposed to be like the ultimate collector's editions. I'm like, just put the 3D edition in there, But I guess in order to Cameron to convince the studio to even do these releases, maximizing their profit is the easiest way. He's like, these will sell, trust me. I might just pick them up just for the fact that one, it's James Cameron, and two, just the idea he got them to do this. So if you want to pick up the remastered Avatar on 3D or the collector's editions for Avatar The Way of Water, it's going to be December 19th. One thing I want to talk about all of these releases that's important, the key things. I can't go into all the bonus features because it's way too much. Before I do that, I want to go over one release that's not Disney. Titanic came out December 5th, so that's already available in 4K. The difference with Titanic is this movie was co-produced by 20th Century Fox and Paramount. And in the United States, they've always had the rights to the home video. So 20th Century Fox was bought out by Disney, so now Disney is in control of all of James Cameron's home video releases, except for this one, because this one was going to be released through Paramount. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I've heard really good things about the transfer. This is kind of pricey, actually. They did a big Ultimate box set, which is tons of reviews of those online. I didn't want the box set because it didn't have the slipcover. But then when I see the box set, this box set itself is kind of a slipcover, but I wanted something that's going to hold the discs very, very well. And I didn't need all that extra swag stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm fine with just a regular release. It's not my favorite James Cameron film, but like I've liked it. And, I want to support the fact that these films are finally coming out. But this wasn't the big gun, but it's done. We got it. So the big guns are coming up. So let's talk about the rest of the releases that they are doing. So the key thing that I want to point out about the release of Aliens, The Abyss, and True Lies. Both versions of The Abyss will be included in 4K and Blu-ray. So that includes the theatrical edition, and that includes the special edition. The special edition's always been my favorite. I'm going to show you guys the only version that I have of The Abyss is the DVD that was released like maybe in the early 2000s. I always loved the fact that this has that documentary about the making of the film. That documentary is amazing. I just watched this again recently because one of my favorite YouTube reaction videos, they watched it, and I was like, fine, I'll watch the bad DVD, whatever. And it's bad. It's really bad. But it is one of my favorite films, and this has been pretty much the only way you can watch it at home unless you watch like an HBO Max stream. A couple of these movies were on HBO Max for like a limited time in HD, and then they got pulled. It was like the weirdest thing. Like True Lies was up on HBO Max for like a month or two, and it was just gone. It was really, really hard to find. I don't know what was going on. So let's go over the other things that are going on with these releases. Both versions of Aliens, the special edition and the theatrical edition, will be included on both 4K and UHD. All three versions of Avatar will be included on 4K. We talked about that already, and on the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray versions of The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens are all mastered from new 4K scans. So some people are going to be talking about the fact that they don't want to pick up Aliens. They don't want to pick up True Lies or The Abyss because they just want a regular Blu-ray release. I don't know why they would say that, because the Blu-rays are in there. They're already remastered. You're not going to really save that much money by waiting for a separate release if they ever do one. I recommend everyone, if you want The Abyss, you want True Lies, pick up the 4K release, get your Blu-ray out of there, and save your 4K for when you upgrade to 4K, because it's worth upgrading to 4K, trust me, especially for older films that were shot on film. So the next thing about these releases, the Blu-ray versions may eventually be available separately. We just talked about that. But right now they're exclusive to 4K, which I'm totally fine with. Because like for years I was like, just give us 4Ks. I don't even want Blu-rays at this point. They missed the Blu-ray boat. Give me a 4K. All 4K presentations will include Dolby HDR and Dolby Atmos audio on 100 gigabyte discs. This is really, really huge because for the most part, Disney has never used 100 gigabyte discs. They always use BD66s, even for Star Wars releases, even for Marvel releases. Like for James Cameron, they've stepped up their game. Like Disney's come to play, and I'm gonna do a whole video talking about Disney's history in home video and how happy I am for what they've been doing lately. All titles except Aliens will include news bonus special features. Totally fine with that. A lot of the bonus features on Aliens were pretty extensive already. I've already seen a list of the bonus features on the digital copies, and I didn't even remember there were these many bonus features for Aliens, so totally fine with that. All titles will include the legacy special features, meaning that all the stuff that we had on bonus features before, it's still going to be there. I hate it when something's missing, because then I got to keep an old copy of a film that I don't really need, and who needs all that? So yeah, so basically the one thing that people are going to really talk about is the artwork. I'm not really crazy about the artwork for Aliens. I really hate the artwork for The Abyss. True Lies is okay. It's very similar to like a lot of the posters they did when the movie came out. It's got Jamie Lee on there and it's got Arnold on there. But, you know, I would have preferred original poster art. But at this point, we're getting these movies on 4K. We're getting them with BD100s. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just gonna take the releases and be happy with them. If everyone else online wants to complain about how bad the art is, it's fine. Don't care. I'm not gonna be looking at the poster art when I'm watching The Great Transfer. The Abyss even got a one-day theatrical release, which I was so busy with work I didn't even have a chance to not even just go, but just to check times for it. I heard a few people went and they really enjoyed it. I wish I had waited instead of, because I haven't seen the movie in years. I watched it about, I think, a month and a half ago for the first time in many, many years, because I've been wanting to watch it, but I'm like, I don't want to watch that bad transfer, but I did, and I still enjoyed the movie, but like it was in definite need of a remaster, more than probably any movie in my collection. When it comes to True Lies, I bought that DVD the day it came out, and I ended up getting rid of it because it's one of the worst DVDs ever made. It's not even anamorphic widescreen. It's got Dolby, regular Dolby Surround. Dolby Surround, sorry, just Dolby Digital. Regular Dolby Digital. It's a basic disc, and it's just really bad. I was like, you know what? I love this film, but I'm never going to watch this version again. Get rid of it. I think for a while I might have had a DTS Laserdisc, but I don't have it anymore. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic to have these films in 4K. Aliens has a pretty decent Blu-ray release. But I wanted something to kind of be the counterpoint to that wonderful transfer they did for the first Alien film. So I want to know if you guys are excited as I am to get all these releases on 4K. Like I mentioned before, December 12th is when we get everything on digital. It's all on like Apple. One thing I did notice about the Apple version is like the first day of the release, it didn't have a 4K version, but for Aliens, but now it does. So that's all been fixed. When you go to the Vudu copy of Aliens, it says theatrical only, but I think if you buy it, there is a special edition version in the bonus features. Whether it's going to be 4K in the digital version, I don't know, but as I read before, the 4K version is going to be available on the 4K disc of both versions. So let me know what you guys think about this release and how excited you are about it. Are you going to be picking up the digital copies? Are you going to be picking up the physical copies? Are you going to get both? March 12th is going to be released for Aliens, True Lies, and The Abyss. The Avatars are available on December 19th, and Titanic is available now. So if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel so much. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.